Howdy. I'm trying to make it run again. For some now it started to run again. We are watching Windy, and obviously there is something coming into Europe. This time we are watching Switzerland, approximately this area, and in the last 12 hours there hasn't been really anything, precipitation or whatever things which could have done some floods or anything. Maybe it was a little bit raining, it's not visible here since we just have 12 hours. But there is something approaching. And weather systems are just one of the expressions of Earth's electrical circuitry, which happens in the atmosphere and within the ground. And quite often, weather events are also related to quake activity and other things which are happening more or less beneath our feet. This video is also related to mountain water. The water which comes from the mountains or hills. Because even a small hill is actually somehow a mountain. Yeah, there might be some scientific differentiation. What's the minimal, what is it called? Elevation from the surroundings, there's a word for it, which I don't remember, in order to make it a mountain, or some elevation, minimal elevation, which has to be achieved in order to call a hill a mountain or whatsoever. But it doesn't matter in the end too much, because there is, where you have a hill or a mountain, there is quite likely water pouring out somewhere of it. Doesn't need a glacier. There might be just a well, a source of water. And it's something many people really never thought about, that why there is why there is water pouring out of those hills. Because the groundwater is underneath our feet, it should be in the ground, but it's coming out of the hills, sometimes almost from the peaks. So we are going quickly to Wikipedia, cryptovolcanism. And that's the German version of Wikipedia translated by Google. Because you get the different content if you change the language on Wikipedia. So I will put a link below to this, the German version of cryptovolcanism, and you have to make it translate by Google in order to get the same results. If you go to the English version of Wikipedia, you won't find the same results. Cryptodome. At the Cryptodome, also known as the Source Dome. Water source. Because if we translate it back to Germany, to German language, actually, no, it doesn't. Translate. Let's take German. Cryptodom. Beim Cryptodom, auch Quellkuppe genannt, bildete das aufsteigende zähflüssige Magma Keulen oder kugelförmige Gesteinskörper innerhalb der weichen Deckschicht, meist aus Tuff, die es zwar domartig aufwölben, aber nicht durchbrechen konnte. Quellkuppe. Source. A water source. A well. It is somehow much more obvious in German language, because source might be wrongly interpreted. But we are talking about water sources. So we have to assume there is a water source somewhere if we are talking about a cryptodome, which is the indicator that Not only, if we go up to the start, we are talking about cryptovolcanism. A cryptodome. So Cryptodome is an actual volcano. And if there is anything coming out of that hill or mountain, anything, might it be gas, water, magma, maybe at one point, through fluctuations in the energy flow in the circuitry? If there is anything coming out of that hill, we have to assume that it is still active. There is still something going on. So it's not dead. Maybe we could call it dormant. But we shouldn't call it probably extinct, because it is still functioning on a much more lower level than it has been once, probably. But it's still functioning. It's still on. It's still alive. There are several in Germany. Dragon Rock and Hohentuil, and I have been making many videos about those. There's also in Japan, where we have the most recent of them. So, maybe the most known example for a cryptodome is Mount St. Helens in the USA. It is a cryptodome, it is a volcano, it has the world's fastest growing glacier within its caldera. Glaciers are made of water. So we maybe have to assume that glaciers are contemporary lava streams made of water. Yes. Think about this for a second. Because I stumbled across this news today. Another landslide in Rothrist. A landslide occurred between Vordenwald and Rothrist early Tuesday morning. The cantonal road is therefore closed. Public transport is also affected. A local resident tells how it happened. This doesn't really work, this page, that's really difficult to use. The cantonal road between Rothrist and Vordenwald Gländstrasse is currently blocked. The reason for this is a landslide, as the Aargau Cantonal Police confirmed in a TCS report from early Tuesday morning. Public transport is also affected. Bus line 6 from Strengelbach. Yes. Pictures from the scene of the event show a buried road. The slope began to slide below a property. It is unclear how long the cleanup work will take, according to the cantonal police. However, this should take 2 or 3 days, since the slope still has to be secured. Here is the road. Let's see how this works. That's really difficult. Now you can check the pictures. Resident Kurt Moore describes how uncertain the current situation is. I don't know if it's reassuring to live here if you're not sure if the ground is suddenly gone, especially since it is not the first time that the slope has slipped away. As early as May 2022, the slope on the same road began to slide. Back then, trees had to be felled, and earlier there had also been a landslide. In May 2022, foresters had to fell trees. This was obviously another one. The local resident can also remember the last case. He himself lives outside the affected area. The wooded slope was built on about 3 years ago, and since then there have been several landslides. It's obvious that at some point you have to do something before half of the forest is on the road. So, I showed you the windy. There wasn't really anything in the last 12 hours at least. Precipitation, which could have influenced some flood. Maybe it doesn't need much anymore at this region in order to get things on the move. Not only in Rothrist did the earth start to slide. The Gländstrasse between Epting Baselland and Langenbroek Baselland had also to be closed for safety reasons due to a landslide. The heavy rainfall over the past days is to blame. According to the Baselland Building and Environmental Protection Department, the closure is expected to last until the end of October. So there are other landslides happening there as well. This is the Gländstrasse. I'm not sure if we are at the exact same position, but this is what Google gave me after riding in Gländstrasse. And there is a hill. You can see. There is forest. It is a hill. It is part of the Jura Massif. If we zoom out a little bit, here is Baden, where we have the hottest and most mineral-rich hot springs in whole Switzerland. There are many of them. The geothermal potential of this region is rather high. If we zoom in still a bit further, these markings are cryptodomes. Here we have the Kaiserstuhl Vulcano and Cryptodome. They are in the end not too far. Furthermore, they're all connected with each other through water veins. Rivers, River Rhine, Aare, Reuss, Limmat, etc. That's the Gländstrasse, where we had the landslide. And I found this. Yeah, it wasn't hard to find because it's written there. Vernässung Rothrist. Vernässung could be in a way translated through watering something. It's wet. If something in German language is nass, it's wet. And I clicked on that. And we are obviously on top of the hill. And there is this kind of landscape on top of the hill. It's a nature preserve. Yeah, you can't go there, you don't do anything. You can't build houses there. It's a nature preserve. There obviously are beavers. There's water. There is water. Snakes. No, anyway, I just wanted to point out that on top of the hill is a water body. So we maybe could think about cryptodomes once again. If we go back to this map and then we can switch to terrain. There are water veins all over the place. On top of that hill. It might be not a really high hill or whatsoever. And there's like, you know, water all over the place. So if they were building some buildings there, they have been digging into the hill. So the possibility, if there's some whatever water vein in the ground, that it gets easier to the surface and maybe also push some sediments downhill in the form of mudslides or something like this. It's, I think, totally possible. especially when we also have rain, because if there's water coming from above, there will be water rising from below, which makes the whole thing much easier. But anyway, I just wanted to point this out on that thing, and we are, after all, very close to a river, Are. And if you follow that river, you will end up, or you will pass, at least 2 volcanoes, Kaiserstuhl volcano and the Eiffel volcanic complex. And to end this up, that's geothermal potential in 5 kilometers depth of Central Europe. The darker it is, the more energy, the more heat. We are here. So the whole region is rather red. There are possibly also in the region where we just watched you don't have to go many kilometers in order to find some thermal bath or whatsoever. There are possibly many geothermal power plants and all these kind of things. It's just very interesting to think and watch these kind of things nowadays. Yeah. But anyway, thanks. Bye.